Hi Tom, how are you?
I'm good, Nick. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you, thanks. Thanks for sitting down with us. We're going to chat about high performance culture.
Yes.
So let's just go right back to the basics. So why is it so important these days, especially with like the organizational changes and technology changes that are happening so rapidly?
This is a topic I'm a bit obsessed with, to be honest. And, my fundamental opinion is that high performance culture is the core of business success, and I'll explain why that is a little bit. But I think it's even more important now in that sort of environment of change that you talked about, because everything is shifting so rapidly. As a business, you need to have something constant. You need to have something to align around. And, your tactics are going to change and your way of executing what you do is going to change over the coming years. But there's got to be some steady setting. There's got to be some steady basis for where you're going, how you're trying to execute what you're doing, the principles that you operate on, that kind of thing. And that all comes down to culture. But my obsession with it kind of goes back to my own experience, actually. So back in 2022, I was running a business that had an awful year, a really bad year. We'd gone from a massive 300 grand profit the previous year. I thought I'd cracked it. I thought I knew business inside out. I thought I'd absolutely nailed it. And then over the course of the next 12 months, I managed to pilot that to a 200 grand loss. So it was quite a turnaround in the wrong direction. And I just remember watching the bank account drop. I tried not to log in every day, but at least twice a week going in, and it was dropping and dropping. And we just about made it to Christmas, and I took the day off, obviously, spent the day with my family. But then Boxing Day, I got up, and I remember sitting in the dark. No one in my house was awake. I don't think anyone in the street was awake. And I sat with a coffee and just tried to figure out what I was going to do, because something had to change. We only had a few months left at that point. And I didn't know the answer. And there was so many issues that I had to find something that united them all. And I started to look at, some companies are successful over and over and over again, whereas most companies just about survive or don't, right? So there's got to be a difference between those things. So I became a bit fascinated by this question of what is that difference? And I started studying companies that were successful over time, not just large companies, but companies in different sectors, companies different sizes. And I was just trying to find a pattern. I was just trying to find a common theme that united them. And it was really difficult because, all the companies I looked at did completely different things. They were in different locations, different sizes, all that kind of stuff. They had different resources, they faced different challenges, and it took me a long time to start to see the thread that bound them. But the one thing I noticed was that they all had really defined, really strong cultures. They all had teams and environments that allowed them to navigate the setbacks that they faced, to overcome the challenges that were set in front of them. And all their cultures were different, but they were all really strong and really robust. And that was really sort of what led me down this path to trying to understand high performance culture, because that was the only thing I could see that was the consistent difference between the few who succeed and the many that fail. So that is why high performance culture is important, because it is the difference between success and failure in whatever business you're in.